people who choose to be kind every day despite of not receiving the same kindness back. What motivates you? TBH, for me it takes a lot of effort to be an ass. Because I know how it feels when you're down and your day per week per month per year just fucking sucks. And if there's a chance I can make just one person who feels like that have a better day and feel good for a bit, then it's worth it. I try not to reproduce behavior I don't like in other people. Makes me like myself more. Because I could be the other person. I'm not especially strong or educated. I'm not particularly well off, and I know I can get carried away and come off as annoying sometimes. So if I can't be strong or smart, socially adept or successful, I can definitely be kind. I'm kind because I'm kind, not because other people are. What's the most unsatisfying BS ending to a TV series? I am not okay with this. It was cancelled by Netflix, so ended on the biggest pisstake of a cliffhanger. It was a really well-made show. 2. Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles, just because of the cliffhanger ending it was cancelled with. That 70s show had a pretty unsatisfying ending. It just feels like they left so much out that needed to be wrapped up before it just ends. Penny Dreadful. Sad face. Roseanne's original, it was all made up, ending. Castle was a detective drama show starring Nathan Fillion. Mal in Firefly. The season is wrapping up. His new-ish wife is becoming a senator. From a detective. Side note. This was confirmed to happen by a guy that was strongly suggested to be a time traveler. Then they're talking in the kitchen and some guy comes in and shoots both of them. They're both bleeding on the ground. Then it cuts to years in the future and they're laughing and smiling with their 2 young children. With some voiceover talking about some BS that I can't even remember. What's the most creative punishment your parents gave to you? Making 7 kids shovel snow using pots and pans because we lost the snow shovels building snow forts. If I slammed a door really hard when I was mad, my mom and grandparents would make me practice closing it nicely. I'd have to reopen and then close it gently about 50 times, counting each one out loud. If I closed it too hard, I'd have to start over. At one point I learned to get my anger out by just slamming the door over and over and counting 1, 1, 1, 1, until I wasn't mad enough to keep slamming the door. They didn't utilize it as much when I started doing that. LMAO. Copying pages of the dictionary to get out of being grounded. Copied lots of pages. My mom created the Wheel of Punishment. When I would be naughty, I would have to spin the repurposed board game spinner, and whatever punishment it landed was the punishment I had to do. My parents always made us repair things we broke. One day my sister and I were roughhousing and we accidentally made a hole on the wall. So my dad drove us to Home Depot and told us that we both had to figure out on our own how to fix the hole. We had to talk to the employees on our own, ask our own questions, gather repair items, select paint color, and bought a home repair magazine on own. We then had to fix the hole on our own. We messed up a lot. It looked wonky and we picked the wrong paint color. We learned the value of taking care of our things. We realized how hard it was to fix things and we learned new skills. All this without yelling, punishment or a lecture. I once misfired a Nerf gun in front of my dad and he had me go through a manual on gun safety. What is the best mental health advice you were ever given? Happiness isn't meant to be a constant state. The aim is contentment, comfortability, not constant unwavering happiness. It's time to stop looking at Facebook. Asterisk, you're not in control of anything but yourself and your actions. So don't try and make the world bend to you. You'll only exhaust yourself and it won't work anyway. You can check the lock on your door as many times as you like. It won't stop someone with a crowbar getting in through your window. Asterisk if your best friend came to you saying they were having trouble in the same circumstances you're dealing with. Would you be as hard on them as you were on yourself? Would you stay friends with someone who treated you the way you treat yourself? What would it be like if you treated yourself with the same kindness and consideration as you would your best friend? Why not actually do that? Allow yourself to feel how you're feeling. I get caught up in how I want to feel or how I think I should be feeling that I never really processed my emotions properly and dragged out grief etc. longer than I needed to. I now remind myself that I shouldn't think I'm stupid or pathetic for still being upset about something. You don't have to be hopeful about tomorrow. Just curious about what's to come. Changed my outlook completely on life when it's going poorly. Your mental illness isn't your fault, but it is your responsibility. What was the weirdest thing you've seen someone fake for attention? One of my classmates got an asthma attack and everyone was flocking over to them to make sure they were okay. On the other side of the room, another one of my classmates also got an asthma attack. Even though it was common knowledge that she didn't have asthma. There were very few people in class that had asthma and we all knew just in case it was an emergency. They faked the hard breathing and exaggerated gasps. It was weird that someone would do something like that just so they would have attention. Seen a girl fake a seizure. It was very unsettling. A kid in elementary school faked a speech impediment so she'd keep getting out of class for speech therapy. Initially it was real, but speech therapy had totally cured it. She just didn't want anyone to know. One of the words she mispronounced was yellow. She would say lello instead. One day we were on the playground together and she said, "I'm gonna tell you a secret." She leaned over and whispered in my ear, YELLLLOWWWW, with a hard Y at the beginning. Then she laughed and said, "Don't tell anyone." Quote. So I didn't. Until just now. When I was in middle school, a girl who was a senior at the high school died. This girl in my class said it was her cousin. She even broke down crying in class. Shaking. Hyperventilating. Etc. Turns out it was not her cousin. In fact, she never even met or knew of her till she died. That Instagram idiot that licked the public toilet then lied about getting COVID. One of our senators is the lunatic daughter of a late dictator. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/ime_Marcos. She never finished college, but keeps insisting that she graduated from Princeton, as well as one of the top law schools in our country. She doesn't show any paperwork, photos, degrees, diplomas, or records of any kind. She just insists it's true despite it being the easiest thing in the world to debunk. As it was, over and over through a simple email or phone call to the schools in question. Her bizarre, elaborate statements to dodge simple yes, no questions about her academic credentials have become somewhat of a meme. Let's go back around May 2005. What do you think you were doing at the time? Getting taken out of elementary school to go see Revenge of the Sith. I was 11. My teacher was named Mr. Watt. My friends' names were Mishka, Sean and Jessica, and that was around the time some pilot whales beached themselves down the road from our school, so we went to dig them out. My immediate family was alive. I had a job I loved. I had a spouse I loved. I had 2 dogs I loved. I lived in a really great and cool neighborhood. All of that is gone now. Would go back in time in a heartbeat. I was in college living at my dad's house. Just finishing up my second to last year. One night, my dad caught me and my friends smoking weed. And then joined us. Craziest experience of my life. The 5th of May '05 was my senior ditch day and me and my friends spent the day wandering around downtown LA. Smiley face. May 2005. I was going through every medical procedure and therapies the doctor wanted done prior to doing my spinal fusion, which I got in August of 2005 if I remember correctly.
Subscribe, my brothers.